All right, so she left me because I got soft. So I've decided I want to make a new series on this channel where I just start telling stories about my life so that I can be more relatable. And to be honest, I enjoy telling these stories. So we're going to be a little casual today. We're going to be using the Loom recording process to do this, just because it feels more raw to me and it's easier. So my first relationship. I'm going to talk about my first relationship. I'm going to tell you this story about my first relationship. I don't really talk about it or think about it too often because, like, it's been a long, long time. Like, we broke up 8 years ago, forever ago. All right. So, we met in middle school. I went to a private middle school. And at my school, it was like a small class. Like, if you went to a private school, you know what I'm talking about. Like, we had 30 people in our entire class. And I met this girl, we started dating, and it was like very young, like puppy love style dating, like 13-year-old dating. You know, we thought we were gonna get married and have kids and that like we were gonna be together forever. And anyway, after middle school had ended, we went to separate high schools. So she went to a high school on the other side of town from where I went to high school, right? And so what this did was it drove a wedge from like seeing her every day because I used to see her at school every single day. Well, now I couldn't see her every day. I could only see her on the weekends. And at the time, I didn't have a vehicle. And if you're not from the U.S., you might not know this, but most people from my audience are like, you know how it's like you live 30 minutes away from someone, it's like driving distance 30 minutes away. It's not like this girl lived down the street from me and I can walk to her. Like I had to ask my dad to give me a ride over to her house. And so my dad would give me a ride over there, or sometimes she would come and hang out at my house. And we had this kind of back and forth thing going on for years where like basically we would FaceTime every night, and then on Fridays or a Saturday or a Sunday or something like that, we would hang out and see each other in person. And you know, it was like the proper cute like middle school, high school, like young love relationship, you know. And in this time frame, for context, I grew up like pretty sheltered. I went to a private school, so like I didn't have like a tough upbringing. You know, my parents were together while I was a kid. I lived in a pretty nice house. Like my parents could afford stuff, so I wasn't. My life was never tough. I never gotten that like grow up energy, and you know I was like, okay, I got this relationship thing figured out. I have a girlfriend. My life is great. And I just remember, you know, in middle school, though, I was like the biggest kid on the team because I went to this small private school. So like everyone there was like really little. I was the biggest kid on the team. I was like the same size I am right now. Well, not the same size, but I was like the same height. And I was like 200 pounds for a fucking middle schooler, which is like heavy considering the fact that everyone else on the team is like 140 pounds. And so I was like crushing kids in school. Like it didn't even in football. Like I was always like in the backfield. I was a defensive lineman. I was in the backfield. I played linebacker. I played offensive line. I played defensive line. Like I was fucking the killer of the team. All right, and the reason why was just because I was just bigger than everyone. Like I didn't really know what I was doing. I didn't really have form. Like I remember I used to grab kids by their chest pads and throw them. Like that was how I would tackle these kids. I didn't tackle them. I would just throw them. Well, I get to high school, and I'm in this school now with a bunch of guys who were like way bigger than me. They had rough upbringings. Like some of these guys are actually tough. You know, I wasn't tough. I was just like partially tough, right? And in fact, I even remember this. This is crazy to say out loud, but I remember like my coaches would yell at me because I wouldn't like pay attention or do what I was supposed to do, and like I would like borderline cry. Like I was like so upset. Like I was such a softie, bro. I would borderline like cry. Like I'd start like tears would come out, and I'd like try to like I'd be sniffling over there because the coach was yelling at me because I like wasn't good at what I was doing, and I didn't want to do anything physical. I was really like I love video games, so I didn't want to be on the football field. And this is the sad truth for a lot of young guys who kind of grew up like me. When you get into video games in the video game world, you are like this hero. You know, you're like a winner. You know, you play video games with your buddies, and I don't know. So you play Call of Duty, and you're killing. You're carrying the team. You are getting all the kills, everyone looks up to you. Everyone's like, yo, dude, you're a fucking gangster. You're good at this shit. And you're like the guy, right? And when everywhere else in your real life that is not the case, when you have bad grades and when you're bad at football and when your girlfriend's mad at you, like that's your real life. But in the video game, you're a hero. So you're getting positive reinforcement for playing the video game and not for living real life. And so that's the sad thing that I really wish. I mean, I guess it builds resilience. I really don't know. I'm not like qualified to talk on the topic of like children and like how to raise kids, but I will say that I do think it's important to like help kids, especially young guys that are like into video games or like porn. Even is another one. It's like, yeah, you're having sex. Your brain thinks you're having sex, but you're not actually having sex, right? Stuff like that. This online shit that gives people cheap dopamine. I really think that like there's got to be some way we can pull the kids off of that stuff, because I know there's a lot of kids, there's a lot of grown men actually that I know. There's guys that are older than me that I used to hang out and play video games with back in the day that are still playing video games to this day, and they're still like the hero in their video game world, but in real life their life sucks, but they don't get any positive reinforcement for living their real life. And the reason I say I don't really know how you would do this is because I also do think it's important to like have that like conversation with men and say like, yo, you need to like toughen the fuck up, bro. So I don't really know how you would handle that, but regardless, I got comfortable in my relationship, and I didn't care about my life. Like I just stopped caring about everything, I had this girl, and I was like killing it on the video games. Like I was really good at video games. My big thing was like Ark Survival Evolved. I don't know if you ever played that game or you heard of it, but it's really, really like immersive. Like it's like Rust. It's very like when you play it, like you're in it. There's a bunch of people that play too. You play online with a bunch of people, and it's like a fully immersive world, right? So I was like checked out of real life. Like I remember I'd be at school thinking about like I can't wait to go home and play Ark, and it's it was brutal. It was fucking brutal. And so I just didn't really care about anything. And I remember I got like really depressed. I like stopped caring about school. I stopped paying attention in class. I used to wear like headphones every day in school, so I wouldn't even like listen to what the teacher was saying. And I was eating like really unhealthy. I would get a Pop-Tart before every single class. And actually, I'll pull up a picture of what I looked like in high school so you can see. Like I do not look the same at all as I did in high school. But yeah, I was not happy with my life. I was very just like, I don't know, I was just fat and I was just like depressed and my life just sucked. Like it was just genuinely like the worst experience ever. And I know there's a lot of people that kind of go through that at a young age. You kind of go through life just going through the motions. And here's a picture of what I looked like. Hold on, I'm gonna try to write this down a little bit. It's kind of hard to see, but that is what I looked like in middle school, or sorry, in high school. Like you could tell, I really just didn't care. Like I was really out of shape, didn't have any muscles. Like my face was like super fat, and I just didn't care about anything. And my girlfriend saw that. And so over time, she kind of started to like fall out of love with me. And honestly, I don't know how she did it, but this girl stayed with me like way longer than she had to. I think a lot of girls in their first relationship tend to do this. They'll stay in their relationship like way fucking longer than necessary. And so this girl, like, I think she had probably checked out like a year and a half in, but we ended up dating for 3 years. And at this point, like, I was a junior in high school, still wasn't getting good grades. In fact, I remember I got grounded because my grades were so bad, and so we couldn't even see each other. Like, I was 17 years old, and I wasn't allowed to go see my girlfriend because I couldn't get good grades in school. And I just didn't know any better. And to be honest, I don't know why, but for some reason I thought that was cute as a kid. Like I always thought, even all the way through high school. It wasn't until college when I was like kicking it with this girl, and I was like, "Hey, can you do my homework for me?" And then I realized I was like, "That's kind of a weird thing." Like we were sitting there, and I was like, "I don't know how to answer this. I don't know how to answer this question. Like, can you just do it? Because I just don't want to do it." And I realized like that shit's not sweet, bro. Like it is not fucking sweet at all to not know how to do your homework. You have to have some knowledge. You have to be like smart. All right. And so she saw that. And I remember there was one day she had texted me and she'd sent me this really, really long text. We hadn't really been talking much. She'd kind of been like avoiding me. You know, she was always like trying to hop on FaceTime, trying to hang out with each other. But, you know, now she was kind of like, oh, I'm busy today, or I can't really hop on FaceTime, whatever. And I don't know. This was just one of those things, like at the time, I did not think I would get broken up with, right? Like I did not think that I would have a breakup with this girl because I was like, well, we promised each other we were going to get married and have kids and whatever. And so she sent me this long text message, and it was kind of along the lines of like, it was long. I actually still have it in my phone. For some reason, I just never deleted it, and it's funny to look back at sometimes. But she was like, basically saying like, you're out of shape, you don't care about school, like all you care about is video games, you quit football. I had quit football, so like I completely stopped playing football. Stopped going to the gym because I had to go to the gym for football. I just didn't care about anything. And she was just like, I just see that. And she was like, you know, I want you to get better and I want you to improve. But like, if something doesn't change, then we're going to have to like stop dating. And that was really rough for me. It was very, very rough for me. And I think I had tried to like solve it. Like I tried to have a conversation with her about it, and she was crying and she was like, oh, like I love you, but I want to like see you change or whatever. And that didn't last for fucking 2 days. Okay. It didn't last for 2 days. We ended up breaking up like 2 days later on FaceTime. So that was pretty rough. That was probably the hardest breakup I ever had to go through. Because I was so young and I didn't know any better, and like I had kind of planned my life around this, and it didn't go according to plan. So that was like absolutely fucking brutal. But as I look back at it years later, I realized that the problem that I had in this relationship was that women place bets on men, and when you start to become the losing horse, then she doesn't want to be with you. I also want to make this point clear too. It depends on how old you are. I was 17 at the time. My trajectory was not looking good. But we had also been dating for 3 years. And even after we broke up, like my trajectory didn't look good until I was like 21. Women place bets on men. And when she sees the horse go from being the stallion, the guy that was the football player that was getting like decent grades in school. I was still a fuck in middle school, but I was like the only one out of the only option. You know what I mean? I was the biggest guy, I was the best looking guy. Like they were all, no offense to like the guys I went to middle school with, but like they all were like smaller guys. They didn't have like that energy. Like you could kind of tell like I just didn't really give a fuck about anything, and I was going to live my life the way I wanted to. And as you can see, I have done that, and now I run a marketing agency. I'm happy with my life, and everything's fucking amazing. But a lot of other guys didn't have that energy. So I was kind of like the only option. And we started dating, and I was cool. Well, coming later into the relationship, I'm 290 pounds. I'm overweight. I am not going to football practice. I am not getting good grades in school. My parents are mad at me. My teachers are mad at me. You know, it's like at some point it's like, okay, so she starts to look down the line a little bit and think, because see, women are biologically programmed to operate under what is best for her own survival, right? And so if she looks at her survival with me on the version of myself that I was at the time, she can look and say, okay, there's no fucking way I'm going to be living a good life with this guy, because this guy's probably going to be a bum later in life. And so we broke up. And it happened because she saw me not be. She placed a bet on me, and she was losing. She had to pull out as soon as possible. She had to cash her chips in. Because if she didn't, she was going to lose all of her money. She's going to be in for a rough treat. All right? And to be honest, if me and her had actually stayed together, I'd probably be working at Express Oil Change right now and changing diapers. And actually, I'd probably be paying child support. I'd probably be paying for child support. But yeah, that's what happened. That was my first relationship. That's the story of like how we broke up. I wish her well. I hope everything's going well for her. I don't really know much about her anymore. I haven't seen her in years. I hope everything's going well for her. But yeah, that was an interesting time. What's funny is, and I hate to say this, but like I am the complete opposite of that person now, and that's another thing that I really, really think is great about breakups, is that for men especially, men always seem to like just get significantly better after most men, not all men. A lot of guys tend to improve if they're really about their shit. Like your life changes after you go through a breakup. So if you're watching this video and you're watching because like maybe you recently went through, hey, quit scratching my ground. My dog is scratching the floor. If you're watching this video because you like recently went through a breakup and you're like looking for answers, it's probably because you got too comfortable, bro. But the thing is, after this, now you have only up to go. I'll say that. I've always said this. There is no better feeling in the entire world than having a massive goal in front of you and a girl that you, for some reason, feel the need to get revenge on, bro. There's no better feeling than that in the entire world, man. That is just the best thing ever. After that breakup, I started getting into shape. I didn't get into like good shape, but I got into like good enough shape at the time. So I lost like a significant amount of weight, changed my hair up, started dressing different. And that was kind of my experience. That was the rest of my experience in school or in high school. The last year of high school, the year after me and her broke up, was one of the best years of my life. And I've always found that too. Like some of the best years of my life have always been after a breakup. And so even now, actually, I had gone through a breakup like a year ago. And this last year has been like one of the best years of my entire life. Like it has been fucking phenomenal. And so that's just how breakups work. But yeah, if you're watching this and you're trying to like get advice about dating, or you're trying to like figure out what happened, bro, you probably got comfortable. And if you really want to keep her around, you can't be comfortable. You can't lose your edge. All right, because when you lose your edge, she loses respect for you and she exits. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, I'm going to be making more stories, so go ahead and subscribe to the channel. And fuck it, if you want like some dating advice or some shit like that, I got this playlist right here you can watch with more advice on dating and little tips and tricks and shit like that. So have a good day. Be safe.